one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. Just gotta mean something to you. They gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3.
Finish.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing would admit to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Boss forever like they decided to throw me under slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop a million songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Poor tackling.
What happened between you and Talib on the field early in the game?
I don't know, you gonna ask him, cause he didn't finish the game. Ice up, son, ice up.
Week 8. I was finna curse. Then I thought to myself, bro, Saint, do not start the show off cursing, bro. Listen, I downloaded TikTok. Don't worry about why I downloaded TikTok. Just know I downloaded TikTok for a very specific reason. While I'm on TikTok, I have absolutely enjoyed it. Let me tell you something. There's some good things about TikTok and some bad things about TikTok. I don't get bothered too much about certain things. Like, it's certain things that do absolutely bother me that will move the needle in my mind. This is not one. This is one of them things. I guess I haven't been on it long enough for it to bother me, or to really move my emotions in a way of, oh man, I hate this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have no negative emotion towards TikTok right now. Like the people who done been on TikTok a million times, or who just hate everything about TikTok. I think it's some things on TikTok like that you could love. Like, I don't get the goofy skits and stuff like that all throughout my TikTok feed or whatever you want to call it. Specifically, and I am going to end up creating a TikTok for the channel, but I'm going to have to end up hiring somebody to work it, because the way I want it to work is somebody going to always take clips from the TikTok. Whoever I end up hiring to do that going to end up working that and the shorts for YouTube. But I don't know if I'm going to hire 2 different people for that. To be honest with you, the first people who do that for me will probably be doing it for free until we blow up, or until we get to a point where I can actually pay them. But yeah, I'm currently working on that. However, I was on TikTok. I do have one slight problem. Well, not even a problem. My little thing, the thing that I noticed, bro, it was the other day I saw, or yesterday, probably, it was last night I was on TikTok. And I see how addictive TikTok can be. But I was on TikTok and I keep seeing like white dudes with deep ass voices say like some quote and then walk off. And, you know, it's getting an algorithm. It's getting a lot of views and clicks and likes and whatnot. These quotes not even deep. Like, I mean, they might be deep, but we done heard these same quotes like 1 billion times, bro. It's very odd. Algorithm. I guess it's just because everybody out there basically living the same life or we all done experienced most of the same things in different ways. But I'm just saying, man, they saying the same damn quotes we done heard 50 million times, 18 different ways, bro. So I don't know, man. So one white dude got a deep voice, boy. I'm talking about that thing. Is it baritone? Is it baritone? How is it? Baritone. Motherfucker got a deep voice, man. Hella deep. But he always say something that, and it's not really deep to me because I'm like, bro, we done heard these quotes like a million times. But it's a lot of great stuff on TikTok. Like, there's a lot of things that I like. If you one of them people who I'm not finna make fun of no person who in tune with their emotions. I just feel like if you somebody who, if you want some emotion, bro, if you want to be, I don't even know how to describe it without taking a shot at somebody, so I'm not even gonna say it. Let's move on. TikTok's a little dope little thing though, man. I like TikTok, man. Notifications and stuff work kind of weird on TikTok, but yeah, TikTok a nice little app, man. I know a lot of people. It's a song that I done heard play on a million different TikToks, bro. I saw a TikTok with this. How many times can he say TikTok? But I saw a ticker on the talk. I saw this. I was finna say this chick, this woman with this white woman with a crazy tan. So she basically orange. She got I think blonde hair or black, like bleach blonde hair. I can't remember exactly how she looked off rip. I can't detail for detail. But she played like her quote is the same for like 50 fucking TikToks. And it's got that song Daylight playing in the background. Oh, I love it and I hate it at the same time. You and I, drinking poison from the same vine. That song is on TikTok a lot. I noticed that. That shit playing in a lot of the backgrounds. They be having all them sad songs playing in the background of the TikToks with like some sad messages and shit. And I feel that. Get people real in tune with their emotions and shit. I'm gonna tell you something. If you done been heartbroken or brokenhearted or currently dealing with some heartbreak, do not get on Twitter. I mean on TikTok. If you somebody who done been broken hearted millions of times and you currently trying to be in a new relationship and you don't, y'all not all the way sold on, well, you probably all the way sold on her or him and he or she is not all the way sold on you. And you done been in this position before where you done got hurt. Do not get on TikTok unless you mentally strong enough to take it, because TikTok will reinforce all your negative thoughts and all of that. That is one thing that I realized on TikTok. Like, my good. And in the background of every single one of them, oh, I love it and I hate it at the same time. You and I drinking poison from the same vine. I'm telling you, bro, every single video is every talk on the ticker is going be some sad shit that's gonna fuck you up. So stay off of the TikTok, bro. But that's my thoughts on TikTok. Anyways, we are in week 8 of the NFL. Bro, we working on a new so I've been watching ESPN, which I do from time to time. And I was watching Get Up. This man, Harry Douglas, got this segment called Dat Boy Bad. Dat Boy Bad. Bro, probably the best segment on TV right now for me, on sports TV. I'm trying to think of one that is better. I cannot think of one. Now, I also want to preface this by saying I do not watch Inside the NBA on TNT throughout the football season. That is not something I will watch until the end, until the All-Star break, because that's when football will officially be over. But I will not be watching that before then. So that don't even equate into my equations when I think about like any segment. Because I know somebody will be like, well, you don't want this thing on TNT. I don't watch that during the season. I don't watch nothing basketball related during the season. During the NFL season. Put it like that. Can't do it. NFL is 16 games. And the regular, 17 now. So far shorter season. So if you watch me, you already know that. But we are in week 8 of the NFL. I did not do a week 8 prediction video on purpose. It was going to be a week eventually where I did not do a prediction video. I did not know which week it was going to be. I just knew eventually one of these weeks I was not going to do a prediction video because I was just going to sit back and watch the games and enjoy them without worrying about picks. It's going to be another one at some point in time too, before the season ends. And those weeks will be, those pick videos will be replaced throughout those weeks with a different video. Like this week, it was a Dwight Howard video. Next week, or the next time I do it, it'll be something, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the week 9 prediction. But whatever week it is later on, it's like my bye week, bro. And I'm getting 2 of them this year. All right. Now, who knows? I might not even take another bye. But I'm just telling you in advance, it is a possibility that I will not do another prediction video at some point in time this season. I will miss another week, but that's intentional. I intentionally missed this week's prediction video, but I wasn't going to tell y'all that until like this show, basically. And that's on me. Listen, don't lose faith in the kid. I just needed a bye week coming to predictions because I wanted to just sit down and watch some games. Because there's a couple things I needed to see in a couple games. I'm not going to lie to you. I forgot that the Bills did not play this week. So that kind of fucked me. Because that's the actual team that I was trying to sit down and watch. But it's all right. Because they got the Sunday night football game next week. So I'm going to see what I need to see anyways. Nonetheless, let me run through the scores real quick. And then I'll rerun through them when I'm slowing down to talk about the games. Now I'm saying that, and I just got a feeling that I'm still going to not do that. But let's try. Week 8 of the NFL. Let's run through these Let's get it. Philadelphia was in Washington. They win 38-31. Minnesota was in Green Bay. Kirk Cousins went down. He tore his Achilles in that game. Prayers up to Kirk. They still win that game 24-10. The Rams got blasted in Dallas. 20-43. Bland with yet another pick six. CeeDee Lamb had a crazy game today. New Orleans. They were in Indy. They win 38-27. Derek Carr had probably his best game of the season. Houston was in Carolina. And the Carolina Panthers pick up their first win of the season. 15-13 in the battle of the Carolina should have took this dude. Jacksonville was in Pittsburgh, and thank God for those Jags. They end up beating the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-10. Kenny Pickett went down in this game. New England was in Miami, and TUA said, I am not Josh Allen, and we ain't the Buffalo Bills, motherfucker. They win 31-17. New York, the battle of the New Yorks. The Jets were the home team taking on the New York Giants, and there was no offense in this game. Thank God for Saquon, because, boy, the Giants ended this game, I believe, with negative pass yards. Zach Wilson might not have been good throughout the game, but he was great when it mattered the most. In overtime in the game, a drive to take them down the field to get the game-tying field goal. And I understand the field goal was missed on the other end, but that does not matter. Zach Wilson, big balled, stepped up, went down there and picked up the Jets' third win in a row. The Atlanta Falcons were in Tennessee taking on the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis would make his first career start in a day he would have. DeAndre Hopkins with a big fuck you, forgetting who I was type game. As he would ball out, the Atlanta Falcons would lose 23-28. And it was just yet another reminder of why I said the Ravens should have signed him and not OBJ. But we move on. Cleveland, without Deshaun Watson once again, head into Seattle to take on the up and down Seattle Seahawks, who are now first place in the NFC West. After picking up a big dub at home against the Cleveland Browns, they win 20-24. Geno Smith did not have his greatest game, but they still were able to pick up a dub. Kansas City was in Denver, and they keep beating the Broncos, but the streak would be broken. Denver would win this game 24-9, and it was a bad one for KC. A lot of people talking about how Pat Mahomes had the flu and whatnot. Cincinnati was in San Francisco, and San Francisco would still be without key players, but that don't matter at the end of the day. Brock Purdy would have a rough game at the end of the game. He had 2 interceptions. Cincinnati would end up running away with this game 31-17 in San Francisco. San Francisco dropping their third game in a row. Baltimore would head to Arizona, the desert, where they called my boy a running back. And Lamar would take his penis out and begin to fuck the Arizona Cardinals. The game was not as close as the score said, but the Baltimore Ravens did end up winning this game 31-24. Shout out Marquise Brown. I told you, he still ain't Hollywood. Chicago, LA, the Chargers, of course. Sunday Night Football. How in God's name? Okay, so I guess this is where I'll start. Chicago lost 13-30, and obviously they still don't have Justin Fields. I can't even Baggett. I can't remember the quarterback's name who playing for him, but that's beside the point. This was the Sunday night game. Chicago taking on the Chargers. Now, coming into the season, the only way you thought Chicago was going to be a good team is if you bad at your job and bad at predicting. Okay, so that's one. How in God's name? Two, how in God's name do you have the power to flex games? You know the previous week what games are going to happen. Instead, you allow a team, two teams, under 500, who have more losses than wins combined, and neither team is over 500 by themselves. So this ain't even like a situation where one team is a game over 500 and the team they playing is like 5 games under 500, so all they got more losses than wins. No. Both teams are under 500, and both teams enter the game under 500 by more than 2 games. Meaning, regardless of who won, neither team would still be over 500 or at 500. I mean, fuck being over 500. Neither one of these two teams would be at 500 after winning this game tonight. Yet this was the primetime game. Now make that make sense to me. A multi-billion-dollar industry in the NFL could not flex this fucking game out of primetime. And when exactly what we thought would happen. We know the Chargers ain't a great team, but they actually have a decent quarterback, a good quarterback. And it was no pressure to win this game. It was the Chicago Bears who had lost, 15 in a row before they picked up a win. They end up blasting Chicago. The beginning of the game, Justin Fields was like 11 for 11 before he had an incompletion. They did whatever they wanted to do whenever they wanted to do it. It was not a good game. I turned the game off early. And this is my problem with the NFL. They seem to not really give a damn about primetime. Now, I understand next week is a primetime game with the Bengals and the Bills. But, however, to me, this is not a situation of you should just be appreciative that we finally getting a primetime game. No. And I'm pretty sure the TV networks agree with me. The NFL need to do more to get primetime. Bro, the NBA is making sure they get the primetime games in the primetime spots. That's why they bitch so much about players sitting out. The NFL just seemed to not give a damn whatsoever about primetime slots. Because it's no way that America's Game of the Week should involve teams that are not over 500. It's no way that the Sunday night primetime game should not involve 2 actual teams that should be in prime time. We don't have to, bro. It should not be like the NFL at this point would have put that Texans Carolina game in prime time if they could have. And the narrative, even with both of them being under 500, would have been, oh, these are 2 dudes who was taken in this recent draft. Who the fuck cares about that, bro? People stay up late to see a primetime game because they expect it to be 2 of the better teams in the NFL or in that sport. People don't stay up late to see primetime games to see one of the worst teams in the league, along with another bad team, lose 13-30. Like, what the fuck is that? And you got the power to change this. I'm broke. Y'all remember that? That man was mad about somebody else's bread. But the NFL can do something about this, and they continue not to. I don't understand it. This should not have been the primetime game. It's really irritating to me that they continue to put the worst primetime games on, and they sleep good at night. This is the problem. This is the problem when the decision makers make all the money and the consumers do not. The decision makers can make the money and still make the decisions and not give a fuck. And the consumers have to accept it or deal with it. It's a problem for me. Primetime games should still be primetime games. They should not be primetime games because of the fucking time or the slot. They should be primetime because of the teams that are playing in that slot. That's why it's very irritating to me that we done got to where we done. Bro, Thursday Night Football is the Steelers and the Titans. I think that's what they said that Thursday night game is. Who the fuck want to see that? This what I'm saying. Like, who the fuck is trying to see that game? We have strayed so far from the path of righteousness. This is unbecoming. This is the NFL. And this is the primetime slots. This is the primetime games. Excuse me. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But let's talk about some of these games, shall we? Philadelphia-Washington was an interesting game to me. It wasn't. Washington sticking around in this game makes sense, bro. It's a divisional game. The Eagles have won a lot of close games. I think they got 5 wins within 9 points. It's not really shocking to me. I also don't watch the Eagles and think to myself, oh, this is a bad team that's finding ways to scrape by. To be honest with you, what I'm seeing from the Eagles right now is just a team that know that they can beat the opposing team and they're not having to do too much to have to do it. And if they have to get into a brawl, they will. But they're not trying to blow teams out. They're just trying to win the game. And I see that from a lot of teams that went to a Super Bowl or to a championship and didn't win it, or went to one and understand how to get back and win it again. They just play different after they get to that stage. So last year for the Eagles, it was proven to the world like this is our breakout season. We have arrived. Now the Eagles are a more sophisticated team. And A.J. Brown is insane. I think he done had like 5 or 7 weeks in a row going over 120-something receiving yards. That is crazy. Julio had a touchdown today. A.J. had a touchdown today. And Devontae had a touchdown today. Jalen Hurts threw for 300-plus yards, 4 touchdowns. I know everybody want to make a big deal about them fumbling the tush push, but then they did a fake tush push and scored on it. Like, the Eagles are an insane team to me. I said it multiple times. They can win in a multitude of different ways. And it's very funny to me that when you look at the Eagles and how I said that I think they can win in a lot of different ways, basically every way you need to be able to win, I think the Eagles can do that. Then I look at San Francisco, and I do not think that that's a team that can win in every different type of way. I am now, and this is no knock against Brock Purdy. He was going to eventually have bad games. That's just the reality of playing in the NFL. And people going to emphasize it more for him, even though Joe Burrow started the season throwing just bad games around left and right. But now he playing good again, and now all of a sudden, now they ready to say, oh, he healthy, so now we can talk about him for real. But anyways, it's a lot of things that ain't healthy for San Francisco right now, and I'm starting to realize without those pieces, it's very hard for this team to be successful. You don't want Brock Purdy to have to do more than manage the game. He is not right now, from what I've seen. His talent does not tell you that he is a go be Superman type of player. And to be honest with you, I don't know why that's what we want every player to be. I think most players would actually be satisfied if they didn't have to go out there and win every game and be Superman. But I do not think San Francisco can win in as many different ways as Philly. And that a big reason for that is because Philly has the better quarterback. So, I know last year when Philly ended up winning that game, it was some San Francisco players that was talking a lot of shit afterwards. But what I would like San Francisco to understand is even if Brock Purdy is healthy, he is not better than Jalen Hurts. So, and these last 2 weeks is proof. When everything ain't healthy, like it is in the NFL, then the shit get murky sometimes. You're going to have to play good games with not having all your talent at your disposal. So, it is what it is. And I understand people keep trying to knock Jalen Hurts because of the talent around him. Bro, what the fuck is he supposed to do about that? Like, if he was struggling with the talent, you make a big deal about it. Even though I know a white quarterback who was struggling with all the talent he had on his offense early in the season. And we kept using the excuse for injury, the injury excuse. I know a white quarterback that's playing in L.A. right now who was struggling with all the talent around him. And I ain't talking about Stafford. And it's an excuse. So, y'all really irritated. Now, the one thing I will say that I saw somebody say the other day that was hilarious. That's like, yo, this motherfucker Jalen Hurts so sophisticated, bro. Why he answer every question like this? Why he talk like this, bro? He like the worst interview in the league right now. And I ain't gonna lie, Jalen Hurts' interviews is kind of dry. But I'm not gonna say, somebody said that they think he forcing, like trying to sound so professional and whatnot, and he ended up looking like a jackass. I just think he just not trying to give the media really much of nothing. If that's not it, then I couldn't tell you. But Another problem I had today was Green Bay, bro. Green Bay's offense is atrocious. And I've been a big advocate of Matt LaFleur. But Matt LaFleur looked terrible right now. The play calling is bad. I don't understand the non-use of Aaron Jones. If he is not healthy, why is he even suiting up to play? You don't use him if he is healthy. If he's not healthy and he's suiting up, I don't understand why, because you're still not using him. I am very confused by the offensive play calling. Lining A.J. Dillon out wide at any point in the game to me is just ridiculous. I'm not seeing the development in Jordan Love right now. The progression from week to week getting better. If anything, these games starting to look the same, if not worse. I do not want to hear people talk about the Green Bay defense. Green Bay's defense is on a week-to-week basis going in there knowing that the offense is probably not going to give them shit in the first half of the game. This is a tough locker room to be in right now, I would imagine. Because the defense have to think to themselves, we done played good enough to win multiple games. And we probably would play even better if not for our offense being as bad as it has been. This is an offense that can't afford turnovers because you don't know if they're going to score or how many drives it's going to take for them to score after that turnover. You can't afford to play against a team that know what they're doing on offense because we don't know. The Packers don't know what they're doing on offense. So you don't have the time to figure it out against a team like a Miami who know what they're doing on every down-to-down basis. There's a lot going on right now in Green Bay, and I'm just not understanding it. The A.J. Dillon, and you know what? It's starting to look like Aaron Rodgers was doing more than just playing quarterback for this team because Matt LaFleur looked like he done forgot how to call a game most of these games. I'm just not understanding it. Like, and listen, I'm not sitting here telling you that the Green Bay Packers defense is perfect, but what I am sitting here telling you is it's pretty damn hard to play a perfect game at any point in time when you. I would like to see how much Green Bay done been outscored by in the first half of games. Because I'm pretty sure it's some astronomical number or some insane number. Like the Giants have only scored 93 points in the season this year. That's crazy. I'm almost certain the Green Bay Packers probably ain't that far away from them. Because this is just a bad. I'm almost certain Green Bay the worst first half team in the league. Let me think. Maybe the Giants. But Green Bay can't be too far behind as far as first half production. It's ridiculous. And then hopping over here to the Rams, I am confused with what's going on with the Rams. I really think they need to go ahead and try to trade Aaron Donald or he either going to retire. In the offseason, they need to ask AD, do he want to retire or do he want to be traded? Because it is no purpose of paying him, not paying him. It's no purpose of wasting the back end of his career when you have no shot at winning most of these. I am confused how the Rams lose the games they should win, and then still lose the games but play competitive in the games they should lose. It makes no sense right now. The offensive line is bad. Matthew Stafford put up a bunch of gaudy numbers for what? We still end up losing these games. Like I saw somebody say that Matthew Stafford been playing better than Lamar Jackson this year. How do you figure? One quarterback had his team sitting at 6-2. The other one is under 500. This is what I'm saying when I say I get sick and tired of these white dudes sitting in sports being able to make these bozo-ass lists. Because in no reality is Stafford having a better season right now than Lamar Jackson. This is the problem when white dudes get to sit back and just gaudy up stats from white players. If you watch the Rams, you know, I'm not telling you Matthew Stafford done been great, terrible or costing them games, but he haven't been great. Because if he had been, we would be winning. And I understand our defense isn't great. But the defense done had games where if Matthew Stafford played a little bit fucking better, maybe they would have been able to play. Now, the Rams don't have corners, safeties. The linebackers is average. Now, I'm not talking about every player because obviously they do have some players. But it's a young team. And I don't understand where we're going right now. This is not a team that should be being coached by Sean McVay. Sean McVay should not be coaching a young team. He should be coaching a organization that's ready, a roster that's ready to win now. Aaron Donald should not be on a defense. He had 2 sacks today. For what? At this point, all he out there doing is chasing his career numbers because they got no he got no chance to win. It's nobody else on the defense that most people will even know by name other than Aaron Donald. That's a problem. So I don't understand what's going on. I go on here every week and talk about how the Vegas Raiders should make trades. The Rams are in the same position to me right now. Like they should. Matthew Stafford ain't winning you another Super Bowl. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, you could probably trade one of them two. I'm not telling you to trade Kupp, but you could probably flip Puka Nacua. And if you don't want to trade him because he's so young, you could probably just flip Cooper Kupp now. And I guess if Sean McVay want to stay and rebuild, cool, but this 100% is a team that should be starting to try to rebuild. Because when you look at the Rams, if you really watching the Rams, on a week-to-week basis, you can't say the Rams going to win these games against nobody. Like, you would pick against them going into this week against Dallas. If you wouldn't, you just insane. That was not the Rams a couple years ago. That is currently what the Rams is, swimming in mediocrity. So I don't understand why they don't go ahead and start this rebuild. Like, to me, it should have started after last year showed you that you should have went. It's time to restart it. I don't know what this year is. I really don't know what this year is right now. This to me, this seemed like a lost year for the Rams, where they hoping to get lucky or something. But yeah, I'm very interested in how the offseason will play out for the Los Angeles Rams, because this season don't make no damn sense. The thing that's interesting to me also about Green Bay, hopping back to Green Bay for a second, and prayers up again to Kirk Cousins. Green Bay might as well try to lose out. Listen, clearly teams ain't that interested in Caleb Williams, because teams that should be losing is winning. I'm not understanding it. It's going to be an arms race at this point, but ain't nobody proving that they truly want him. And it feel like if the Cardinals end up with Chase Williams, then you get a bidding war for who trades for Kyler Murray, because somebody going to trade for Kyler Murray. There's no way nobody, like I can hear a dumbass right now. Ain't nobody going to want Kyler Murray in that contract. Bro, go eat a dick. Kyler Murray will absolutely have a market out there, a good market out there. Another game I want to talk about is KC Denver. Don't really care too much about talking about the Denver side. I want to go back to this KC side. And shout out to Denver's defense. They hit Patrick Mahomes a lot. I think they had 3 sacks, 11 quarterback hits. I'm not looking at the stats in front of me, so I cannot remember it off the top of my head. This is why I wasn't going to bring up the stats. I watched part of this game, so I already had known that they had what they had did on the defensive side of the ball. When I actually turned to this game, they was getting one of the sacks. No, they wasn't. They was getting it. I thought it was a sack. It wasn't. I thought they was finna get a sack, but Buddy got the ball out just in time. And I know people gonna say the drops and all this. And I know the TV kept talking about not Pat Mahomes. What's my man's name? Travis Kelce. How he played with Taylor there, without Taylor there. I don't care about none of that shit. My problem with the Chiefs remain the same. The Chiefs remain the same. This cheap ass fucking organization being bailed out by Pat Mahomes. Him taking a pay cut. Your other tight end taking a pay cut. And Pat Mahomes is going out there and I said this was going to happen. You're not going to be able to see it as much because of how great Pat is. But if you really look close, Pat Mahomes is going to have to... Bro, this will be one of his toughest years because he has literally no talent around him outside of Travis Kelce. And at the end of the day, that is still a tight end. He does not have receivers that can win one-on-ones up the field for big plays on a consistent basis. The dinking and dunking and quick passes and screen passes and receiver screens and tight end screens and running back screens. And bro, all of these routes, I just do not see even Pat Mahomes being able to get by with this. And it's a great thing that the Chiefs defense is better, but I told you, great defenses don't win championships. Defense in spots does. And when you play defense in spots, but the offense don't come through in they spots, that's still a recipe for disaster. Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, I think, before this deadline happened, need to try to go out there and make a trade. I think somebody need to go trade for DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if the Titans will trade him, but that's a dude who I think they need to try to trade for. Maybe you try to trade for Jerry Jeudy. I don't think they're going to make a trade within the division. Maybe go trade for Marquise. Somebody should go make a trade for Marquise Brown of the of the Cardinals. But the Chiefs need to make a play for a receiver. Because to me, relying on Valdez-Scantling on a weekly basis, bro, is ridiculous. Sky Moore haven't gotten, bro, people, y'all was overhyping the shit out of him. Buddy from the Giants, who over here now, Kadarius Toney, is an up and down player, mostly down. And this is what they done surrounded Patrick Mahomes with. And the only reason you would do some ignorant shit like this is because you think to yourself, well, Pat Mahomes can figure it all out anyways. We don't have to spend big on the receivers. We got Pat Mahomes. And I continue to tell you, that is an ignorant fucking way for a team to run an organization. And it's not fair to Pat Mahomes, and it's not fair to the other players around them. But teams get to get away with doing that bullshit on a weekly basis, if not a yearly basis. Seattle, they may lead their division right now, but I am very much confused as to... I don't understand this offense, bro. It's just not consistent. And that's my problem. It's just not consistent. And they have the weapons. They have the talent. They just not consistent. And they're going to have to pick it up. Because I do not think Seattle right now in the NFC, to every time I think about a team and I think about their ceiling, it's against the Eagles, the Cowboys, and it was the 49ers. But you see what's going on with them right now. How do you play when you have to play against those teams at their best? I just don't see where we at. I don't see Seattle. I had to find the score. I don't see Seattle right now beating those two teams because they too up and down. Some drives throughout the game. And the worst part would be for me, wouldn't even be if you up and down from a game to game basis, because then I would say to myself, oh, they'll just figure it out one of these games. Bro, they wishy-washy every drive. Bro, you got to crawl before you can walk, okay? They got to figure this shit out on a drive-to-drive basis before they can figure this shit out on a game-to-game basis. I'm not understanding why Seattle keeps struggling like this with the talent they have. It is very much confusing. But I do not trust them right now. I understand they lead their division. However, San Francisco is back sliding right now, backpedaling right now because of the injuries. And Brock Purdy having to do more. And that might be a sign that, San Francisco is going to end the same way because you have a quarterback who still needed to be more so perfect around him than him being able to lead you with every piece not in place. And I can just hear the Jalen Hurts haters right now. Well, Jalen Hurts got all that time. Bro, I can't keep doing it. I just know. I was on Twitter today. They hating on that man, Jalen. They hating on him. Shout out to Will Levis. A great first game as a rookie. Look at what DeAndre Hopkins was able to do for him. I'm happy. I guess I'm happy Tennessee found a quarterback. I think it's ridiculous that Ryan Tannehill was able to keep his job for as long as he did after that, 4 interception game against the Cincinnati Bengals where his team had 9 sacks and he just threw the ball away left and right to lose them that game. Him keeping his job after that was crazy to me because I continue to see Jameis lose his job for less. But now it seems that he really has lost his job to Will Levis because this was a great first game for Will Levis. And I understand the defense does not have film on Will Levis. And I also understand the Falcons had a top-ranked defense coming into this game. But I tell you every week, bro, defensive rankings don't matter. The Cardinals walked down the field on the Baltimore Ravens defense multiple times in this game. Defensive ratings don't matter, bro, especially when you play in the NFC South. When you playing them 3 shitfest teams or 4 bad teams 2 times a year and 6 and all total, well, you know the math, bro. I'm not doing all that. It's late. That don't instill confidence in me. You know what I'm saying? That don't tell me that's really a great defense. That tell me they take advantage of playing against other bad offenses. So great game from Will Levis. I do understand that Atlanta's defense was ranked high, but I also understand what I understand. Shout out to Zach Wilson, who made the plays when they mattered the most. That was one of the toughest watches to watch. I know I tried to watch it and said, fuck this shit, and came back towards the end of the game. Robert Saleh still not having a good enough offensive coordinator for the Jets, to me, is amazing. But whatever. Maybe it is just Zach Young. Zach Wilson is just not good enough. But he made the plays to win them that game, so that's all that matters. And that is pretty much all I have for this show. Anything else will be on the next show tomorrow night. With that being said, I appreciate y'all so greatly for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share. I truly do appreciate the support. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.